Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Riding in Cars with Books. Today my hair is flying away. But I'm Jaclyn.
And I'm Philip.
And today we are going to be discussing 8 Limbs by Stephanie Phillips and Giulia Lalli. It is life drawn by humanoids. And it is teen plus?
Sure.
I guess.
We'll go with that.
Sure. We're just making stuff up at this point.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't give it to my 2-year-old.
You don't have a 2-year-old.
Just saying.
Okay. 8 Limbs.
I wouldn't give it to my neighbor's cat's 2-year-old. How about that?
What?
No, nothing. Go.
Anyways, I don't know what's happening right now. 8 Limbs, back to the book, is about a Muay Thai fighter, Johanna. And she's retired from fighting, but she still owns a gym and teaches classes. And one day, a friend of hers asks if she can foster this girl. She's like, desperate, I need you just to watch her for a few days, basically. And this girl has been getting in trouble for fighting, she's stealing, she runs away. And she's like, I need your help. Can she stay here for a
She's
few
already
days?
been through multiple foster homes, multiple schools.
And so Johanna sees something in her. She kind of reminds her of her younger self. And so from there, they form a relationship around fighting. And Johanna teaches Mari, is that her name?
Yeah.
Mari,
Well,
the difference between fighting and violence. And that's the moral of the story, is the difference
at least that
is
part of the story.
choice.
Right.
So, spoiler alert, let's get into this thing. What did you think?
So I thoroughly enjoyed this book. It was actually my pick of the week when it came out. There's a really good. There's really 3 parts to this story, right? There's
Mari's story.
Mari's story, Joanna's story, and then there's basically the story of family, right? That's really kind of what you're getting into, and they're all intertwined.
Oh yes, of course.
So it was done really well. The writing is well done. The art goes well. The art is just clean.
It's beautiful.
And goes well with the story. It's very fluid where it needs to be fluid. So that's really cool.
The beginning of the book, Stephanie has an author's note talking about her experience as a Muay Thai fighter and what that brings to the story is pretty incredible, I think. I mean, I feel like all writers leave a part of themselves on their page no matter what the content is, but when it really hits home like this, it makes the story more powerful. For me, anyway.
Right, it does.
So she added a lot of her own experience into... Oh my god, we're gonna die!
Yes, we almost died.
Anyways, people are crazy out here on these Sunday afternoons. So, the story starts with Mari, actually, and you see her fighting at school, and basically the school kicks her out because they're like, we can't deal with her. And then you learn Johanna's backstory and what happened when she was basically, I wouldn't say she was forced into retirement, but she had a really bad fight. She lost her belt.
Right.
Or championship belt.
Yeah, she was kind of in a bad place at that point.
It didn't really get into like why she was in that bad place, but you knew that she was in a bad place. And she also had a kid, and I don't know if the kid thing happened before or after the retirement, and didn't get into that. But obviously, she made some life changes, and that fight that kind of ended her career, it was bad. And that character comes back and plays a big role in Mari's story as well.
Right, because even though she's kind of made peace with herself, that one fight kind of always stayed with her.
Yeah.
And I guess in her husband, because he was kind of her trainer at the time. And so they made peace with it, but I don't think there was parts of it that she could actually get past. And that was, one whole big piece of that story.
And I think Mari, in a way, helped her with that.
Right.
Because of what happened with Mari is, spoiler alert, when they the social worker comes back to get Mari after the few days, they think they have a house for her, but it turns out they don't. So she's asking Johanna and her husband if she can stay here for a little bit longer. And Mari overhears a conversation and hears Johanna talking about her own child and thinks they're talking about Mari, and she runs away.
Right.
This guy ends up like seeing her punch somebody and is like, "You got a nice right hook. Come fight."
It was a subway accident.
Yeah. He's basically like, "Come fight with me. Come train with me." Whatever. He owns like this underground boxing gym or something. And so that turns out to be where Mari comes in contact with the other fighter.
Because they're just really using her as a feeder fighter, right?
Yeah, like, she's bait. She's like, young bait.
She's young bait for these things, and he manipulates fights. So
for money. He's
for
gambling.
Money, right. So he lets her win some of these bouts, and then when betting starts, he basically lets them lose. And they don't know this, right? The fighter, Mari didn't know this.
Yeah, Mari was like, I'm winning all these matches, I'm doing really well. Like, why would I lose this next fight? And turns out there's ulterior motive there, and people aren't exactly what they seem.
Right. So really, that's a whole scene of where what you're dealing with is you got this runaway. People know that she's a runaway, and people know that they can take advantage of these runaways and use them for their own purpose instead of really trying to help them.
And she's just a kid.
Right. It's in the guise of, I'm here to help you, but not really.
Yeah. But I think she also realizes Johanna was really trying to help her, teach her skill, and not just, don't just punch something because you're mad at it. I liked how she got that point across.
Right.
At the very beginning, she's like, here's some boxing gloves. I'm going to teach you correctly. Don't just, you're going to hurt yourself if you do it wrong.
Right. And a lot of it is, I think one of the things that I really liked about this book was the fact that, it went into, like, here's this troubled teen, right? And I'm doing that in air quotes. You can't see that because I'm driving. And there's this troubled teen, but there's always something else usually there, right? It's not always cut and dry. They're just like, oh, they're just a troublemaker. They get into fights, and that's not really what it's about. It's about, once again, how whether it was your original parents or foster parents or any parents that are just taking advantage of you, and how they take advantage of you, of where you end up your lot in life.
And the system is completely messed up.
Right. And it's not like she wants to necessarily be this way, but once again, you may or may not know this, but kids can be pretty cruel in middle and high school, right? Mm-hmm. And so especially also for a foster kid, when, that happens, and so they feel like they need to defend themselves, or...
She's not fighting unprovoked, but these administrator people never want to see both sides of the story.
Right.
Or, they always take sides of the rich parents, or, whatever.
But then you have someone like Johanna in this that is basically, that kind of sees something in this kid and is like, there's ways that I can teach you, or I can be there for you and find a way for your aggression, or figure out what's going on in life.
And it's about
and understanding. It's understanding, right?
Yeah, and it's about, you have a choice. And that really came full circle with the choices she ended up making. And I think it was wrapped up beautifully. I don't want to completely spoil the ending, but it's a beautiful story.
Yep. It is, like I said, it's well written. The art in it is beautiful for what they're doing. And since they're doing the Muay Thai stuff, arts,
you can learn some things
right.
reading it as well.
You go into that, and then the art really flows well with that also. It's just different, right? Like sometimes the art doesn't play well when you're trying to do something fluid, and here it goes.
The art
really
complemented
well.
The story really well. Yeah. I agree. So we both really enjoyed this, and I'm glad I read it. It was sad and happy, and all my favorite things in a book.
It has the feels. It'll make you feel things.
It hits you right in the feels. Gut punch.
Right.
Or a liver punch, or whatever they did. But
I mean, and there's other parts in it too, right? Like Johanna had a husband, and like I guess is it Johanna or Joanna? I can't anyway.
Uh-huh.
We're just going Joanna right now. And so basically, like she can still be impulsive because she's who she is, and so sometimes it throws her husband for a loop because he's like, "Don't you think we should talk about this?" And she's like, "No,
I made the decision for
yeah,
her."
yeah." And it's like, and so he's, you know, he understands who his wife is. He understands what kind of person he is, and he's supportive of that. And once again, you don't always have to agree with everything to be supportive of something, right? Like he would have liked a little bit more conversation, but he just knew that wasn't going to happen, and it's his wife, so he's going to support her decision for that.
Yeah.
Because it's about choice.
Yeah, I mean, he supported everything that she did.
Yep.
For sure.
So that part was, I thought that part was handled really well too.
So overall, again, we both enjoyed this book, and we highly recommend you come pick up a copy at your local comic shop and read it.
Yep.
Because it's amazing.
You would not be disappointed.
You don't have to care about fighting. I don't really like fighting, but of course, you know, there's fighting scenes, so there's going to be blood and, you know.
But it's not overly graphic.
No, it's not really. I mean, if you read Berserker, you'll be fine.
There's nowhere near that.
No.
Stop.
No, I definitely think it would be appropriate for young adults.
Yes, it is. It's 100% appropriate for young adult. There's not like there's blood everywhere.
It wasn't
like
bad,
no,
violent. I mean, there's violence obviously, but it wasn't that bad. And then there's stealing,
right.
But
it's a story.
Yeah, I think those are like the only like, oh my god, moments, content warnings, or whatever. Anything else you like to add?
I would consider stealing the content warning.
I don't know.
Anyway, I think that's it. You can wrap it up, dear.
All right. We're just rambling at this point, driving around in circles, trying not to get run over by cars. So, if you like this video, subscribe if you haven't already. Comment down below what books you want us to review next. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.